All right, so another big rumor out there is DAZN and Eddie Hearn are prepared to offer Canelo a two-fight deal with Bivol and Gennady Golovkin. Bivol being May 7th and Gennady Golovkin supposedly being September 17th. That's being rumored. I don't know how true that is. Is this the best option for Canelo, and is this the most likely scenario that's going to happen? And is it going to play out this way? Let's start with you, Maestro.
Well, the first question is the answer is no. Like this isn't something I'm interested in. There's a little bit of background noise. I don't know who that is. If they could mute. But I'm not that interested in a Triple G fight. I'm just not. I haven't been for at least 2 years now. It's not interesting to me. It might have been, immediately following the second fight, but we've now seen an older version of Triple G who's like the same age as me, and trust me, I feel my age every morning. Who's been sitting on the shelf. People are talking about Thurman being rusty. I mean, this guy's hasn't fought at the elite level in how long? At least Thurman's last fight was against Pacquiao. Triple G's last win was against who? The last one I remember was it was either Steve Rolls or Zerameta.
Camille Zerameta.
I mean, what's the difference at the end of the day? I mean, it's been a long time. He's been waiting around for Murata. That didn't happen. I don't get excited by the name Gennady Gennadovich Golovkin anymore as it relates to being in a major fight. I just don't. Bivol is an interesting proposition. That's a hardcore fans fight for sure. Bivol's not exactly the most exciting guy anymore. And when he was on HBO, I mean, he was knocking guys out. Since he's been on DAZN, he's been rather boring. He seems like a guy that's literally is sitting in the front seat of a Lambo, but is just cruising around Monte Carlo in first gear and doesn't ever want to take it onto the highway. Just above what I need to do to win this round, each round, every round for 12 rounds. I mean, it's just not exciting anymore. We would like to see it because we want to be able to see Canelo solve that puzzle. Does that translate over into Canelo territory of catching the interest of the casual fans? I don't really know if it does. But, at the end of the day, anything Canelo does is going to be criticized and hated on. So, it's really about picking your poison if you're Canelo. But I would rather see him at 175 against the likes of a Joe Smith Jr. just out of excitement, and a Baturvia for excitement and evenness and back and forth action and potential knockout. So those would be my picks.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I guess they were saying that this was allegedly, I don't know how true it is, an $85 million deal with the two fights. I don't know how accurate that is, but D, what do you think of this offer, this deal, this proposition? Is it the best deal for Canelo, and is it the most likely scenario that's going to happen?
I mean, if it's 80 million, yes. For Canelo, yes. But I mean, Jesus, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of guaranteed money. And then, if he and then the toughest fight, he gets out of the way first, and then he just has a standing piñata in a trilogy fight, because that's all Triple G's gonna be, right? That's it. I remember like when I was a kid, they'll take the piñata out and shit. And they'll be like, dale, no pierdas it. You know what I mean? And that's what Canelo would have a field day with this dude, okay? Like, Gennady Golovkin is done, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a lot of Gennady Golovkin fans that are still saying that let's do the fight, let's get the fight done, come on, let's do it, let's go. Canelo's ducking, Canelo's scared. Look, you all know if Canelo goes out there and knocks the dude out, you ain't going to give him credit because you're going to say he was old, he was 40 years old. You already know you got that built-in excuse anyway, so why are you begging for the fight? Okay, and then Gennady Golovkin's been doing nothing to position himself to get this fight again. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But what I want to say is this: I like the Bivol fight. That's me. People keep saying that movers give Canelo problems. Well, he's a mover. So let's go ahead and see him fight a mover, right? And let's see if he can give Canelo some problems. I think he's a better mover than anybody else he's fought at least at 168 for sure, and 160 actually, to be honest. So since the Lara fight probably, so that's an interesting fight to me, at least from a boxing perspective, okay? But once again, and I'll say this one more time. All right, look at this. This is the Bible of boxing, okay? This is the Ring magazine, okay? I want everybody to put your hand up, okay? This is the Bible, all right? And I want you to give me a pledge, right? I want everyone out there listening to give me a damn pledge, okay? That if you are one of the people that have been saying that Canelo needs to fight Bivol, that after Canelo beats Bivol, that you will join the rest of us in giving Canelo his credit, because nobody else is, okay? You have Charlo fans saying that they're not going to give him credit or he's ducking. By the way, how do you go from rumor has it he's going to fight Charlo, he's going to fight Charlo because he's coming off a tough win, and he's cherry picking him, and now he's ducking him. Right now, these rumors came out. Okay, just do me a favor, regardless of who Canelo fights next. If he fights Charlo next, and you've been screaming at the top of your lungs that he should fight Charlo, put a right hand up and say, D-Style, I swear that when he beats Charlo, and if he beats Charlo, I will join you. Okay, with all the people saying that he cherry picked Charlo and that was not a good one, I will join you in giving Canelo credit. Okay. We're going to have to do this shit Digstown style. Like, Canelo's going to have to beat everybody to finally get collective credit. He's the only fighter. Why? Because there is no peer of his that is at his level. He doesn't have like Mayweather had a Pacquiao. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have a Hearns like Leonard had. He doesn't have any of that. Why? Because these dudes aren't fighting each other and positioning themselves to be that dude. None of them are. That's all I got.
Mario, is this the best deal, and do you like it?
It's the best deal for Canelo for sure, and I like it. Not as much as I would have loved Charlo, but I put a tweet out there the other day, and it it got a lot of shit for it. People have been DMing me, attacking me, but I said it as clearly as I thought I could. Okay, Triple G was for the money, Charlo was for the fans, and Bivol was for the sport. Because the sport is going to recognize the fact that Bivol is a 175 guy, and it puts him on that title picture, and specifically that shot for unification. I mean, undisputed down the line. Because Maestro's talking about, Joe Smith and Betterbeef. They're talking about getting a fight done. They seem very close to getting that fight done. So imagine us being in a position where they fight. Bivol and Canelo fight, later, and then 2023 is a possible. Undisputed at 175. That would be awesome. The problem though with negotiating in the public domain is that when you ultimately pick your guy, everybody gets mad because they knew who else was out there that he could have fought, and they're mad that they didn't fight that guy. So the problem from the very beginning was putting the stories out there with, well, it could be Charlo and PBC, it could be Bivol, it could be Triple G. Like, doing that set the stage for failure ultimately. But I agree 100% with D-Style, 100%. These people that refuse to give Canelo his praise are the same people whose their favorite fighter averages one fight every 16 months, refuse to test themselves, beyond the ability of their own weight limit. Here's Canelo continuing to move up, continuing to go for greatness. Ultimately, whether he wins or loses, it doesn't matter, because he's going to continue to fight the best each and every time, the best available to him. Let Charlo go out there and do something. Let Andrade go out there and do something. Let Benavidez go out there and beat one of those guys. And then we can see what, where this happens. The one thing I do want to bring up is that in kind of correlation to this is Benavidez was out in the today and told reporters that he's willing to fight Boo Boo Andrade because it seems that the Caleb Plant Jermall Charlo fight is what's going to go forward. That would be awesome. I would give a lot of praise to Benavidez because he's not the guy that we blame for not fighting, Andrade. When we talk about the people that refuse to fight Andrade, Benavidez isn't the name that comes up. But for him to go out there and take that token, that is what boxing is all about. That's what made me a fucking fan in the 90s. And, those are the kinds of people that would deserve Canelo.
Very well said, Mario. Very well said. Boxing Dev, what do you think of this deal for Canelo? You think it's the best deal out there?
You're muted, Dev.
Sorry. I am going to rephrase this phrase. The best option for Canelo is Triple G because it's going to beat him easily. And the worst option for Canelo, but the best option for fans, are Benavides, Beterbiev, Bivol, and Charlo. Not Ilunga Makawa, not Calen Plant again, not the trilogy with Triple G, any one of them. That four men should fight against Canelo. But anybody knows what's going to happen because I don't think Canelo is going to fight against Benavides because Benavides can beat him. I think Bivol too. I think he's going to take Beterbiev or Charlo. Beterbiev because of his hold, and Charlo because it's an easy win for Canelo.
Yeah. Well, Ring, I know you've been talking about this, and you've been saying that you thought Charlo was the easiest fight. I believe you said that. And to me, I think Bivol is a tougher fight. What do you think of this deal? And do you like this Bivol fight better than the Charlo fight? Mute him.
You are mute.
Yeah, as a I'm sorry, as a hardcore boxing fan, yeah, I love the Bivol fight. I think that's the more complex fight out of every fight that's out there right now. That's the one I honestly feel he could lose. I could definitely see him knock. I know a lot of people think Benavides is this and that, but I can literally see him getting knocked out, and I see how it would happen to him. With Artur, I can see him losing, and I can see how he loses. Bivol is a tougher nut to crack because he doesn't give you a lot. He sticks and moves, shoots the jab. He's very accurate. He's very durable. He knows how to measure distance. It's a very frustrating style for Canelo. So out of intrigue, I really like that fight. But is that the best deal? No. The best deal is I'm going to beat the shit out of Charlo for $45 million, and I'm going to beat the shit out of Gennady Golovkin for whatever the fuck that makes me. That's the best deal. Bivol is a potential banana skin. As far as me as a consumer, I'm okay with whatever he does because all these guys suck. You know what I mean? Like, well, not all of them, but I'm sick of the bullshit. Benavides hasn't fought shit. He fought Anthony Durrell. Andre, I love him, but, he hasn't fought shit. Charlo, I hate him. He hasn't fought shit. Bivol, you're all right, but you're boring sometimes. Like, you're just fucking boring. Right now, Artur, I love him, but he's busy. He's going to fight Joe. And I'm okay with that. I love the Joe Smith Jr. versus Artur better be fight. At this point, Canelo can retire, and I'd be okay with it. Like, dog, you went undisputed in 12 months. Errol Spence hasn't gone undisputed in 5 years.